Good morning and welcome to another episode of Coffee and Co-op. I've got my cup of tea here, which is just about empty because I don't really know, if I'm being honest with you, why I drank all my tea and then started recording, but it is really good tea, so I'm not going to apologize. I'm just going to tell you that most of the tea is gone, just in case anybody was curious about that aspect. It's very important for me on this show to always make sure we are queued up. It's very important for me on this show to always make sure that we have the game server timed out creating the game. Oh my god. It's always important for me to make sure on this show that we have, thank you Kerrigan, for us to have something to drink, because I feel like the title Coffee and Co-op is a little bit dishonest if we're not having coffee. But then I'm like, well, you know, how much can I bend the rules, right? And I figured tea was a pretty safe place to go. You know, if I was like, hey guys, I've got my Red Bull here for Coffee and Co-op, then I'd feel a little bit worse. You ready to scream again, Kerrigan? The game server timed out when creating the game. You know, I don't have any of my old server block stuff on. Is BattleNet down? There you go, Kerrigan. Just let it all out. Sometimes that's the best way to do it. Rather than letting anger or, you know, some sort of negative thoughts boil underneath, sometimes you just gotta get a quick scream in, and then you can just go back to being normal. You know, that's what I do when I see that my jungler is getting caught in the jungle by the other jungler, and then I try to go out and help him, but it turns out that top lane came down and mid also came over, so he died in 2v3, and then jungler goes AFK, and I'm like, well, I guess I'm about to lose 12 LP. It is what it is, though, at the end of the day. There we go. Game starting. Is it actually starting? Okay. I think we're good. We got a Zagara, level 143 on our team. It's loading. So it usually doesn't. When I don't know why I switched off that screen while it was loading. It'll never start showing the game while we're in that loading screen, because I don't know what game runs at like 1 FPS in the loading screen, I think. Yeah. Good stuff. So we were teamed up with a Cigar who's level 143. Their name is Barf, in case anyone wants to know. I am a level 9 Kerrigan, because this is our Prestige series. We've just got Malignant Creep. That's it. We've got really good creep. Our creep is very strong, in case anybody was curious. And there it is. Now you guys can see. You can't see my teammates' information, though, because, well, let's face it. I need some way to nurture dependency on me from you guys, right? I take the dentist approach to my streaming and my YouTubing. So if I give you all the information, you know, then you feel like you have some sort of freedom and self-control. And, well, that just wouldn't be very good for building and developing a cult. Now, would it? Everybody raise your cups of tea at the same time now.
Quest for glory begins. Not enough.
That's right. That's right.
Corporal Faraday here.
We're in a deep, Commanders. I'm on summoning void shards in multiple locations around the city. Their activation will result in the city's destruction and catastrophic civilian casualties. We need to destroy those shards.
Mine more.
Hi.
You don't have enough Vespine gas.
Chill HF. These ones are always fun, though, because, like, Kerrigan's OP, right? And then my creep is really good.
You can't do that without creep.
But I do need to start spreading creep early, because my teammate will benefit from it as well, right? Especially since they are also Zerg. I feel like them also being Zerg opens up quite a few opportunities and possibilities. Also, shout out to those of you who follow the sports world, as New York Jets head coach Adam Gase was finally fired following their crippling loss, very sad, depressing loss, to the New England Patriots, where Sam Darnold also played his last game as a New York Jet after throwing 2 interceptions in what was going to be basically his last chance to prove that we shouldn't sign Justin Fields after his phenomenal game where Ohio State upset Clemson in the semifinals of the NCAA college playoffs. And I never watched college football until this year, mostly because as a Jets fan, you just can only reach so many levels of depravity when it comes to, you know, trying to convince yourself that your team will ever be good. But the prospects and the high-level talent this year just seemed too good to ignore. You know what I mean? I thought to myself, hey, there's there's not really a lot of downside to trying to see some of these guys before they come onto the team next year, because certainly nobody that's on the team this year is good enough to care about. And that was true. Nobody on the team this year was really that good to care about as far as the Jets go. My favorite players in the 2020 season for the New York Jets would have to be Quinnen Williams, Marcus May, Mekhi Becton, Folorunsu Fatukasi, and Jamison Crowder. Obviously, I gotta give some props to him. I think he, real good team player. And when you're the best player on the worst team at the ripe age of, was he like 32 in the NFL? That really just kind of says everything.
Queen is ready. Rev up those index.
I just gotta bait these guys, right? That's pretty much all I gotta do until Kerrigan's out. That's the important thing.
Your allies are in battle.
We are unending. I am eternal.
So that got a little bit scrappy.
Yes. Explain yourself.
I got you, fam. His drones are still alive, right? Okay, he's
What
fine.
is it already?
Everything's gonna be alright. One of my favorite Enrique Iglesias songs. But yeah, Jets defensive linemen did really well. Nathan Shepard, Henry Anderson. I really liked all those guys. Jordan Jenkins and John Franklin Myers. Definitely highlights for us. Our defensive backs ended up being pretty meh. Brad McDougald was extremely average. Blesson Austin, he got really hyped up after last year, and he did not end up really delivering on that hype this season. I didn't feel like that. I really like him as a player. Still a big fan of him. I want to see him bounce back next year, but just as a general takeaway. And I think as long as the Jets get somebody decent as a coach, which should be pretty hard not to do, considering that they had Adam Gase for the last 2 years. When every single expert, right? Like, there's a difference between someone telling you, hey, I don't like this guy. And then you ask yourself, if you're a rational person, when someone says they hate someone or they don't like someone, your first thought should be, why is that? Why do you not like this person, right? In my mind, that's a completely fair position to take. That you would always want to try, trust but verify, right? You might like, you're like, okay. But when every single professional expert in an entire field and industry all concurrently agree with no disagreement at all, and I'm telling you, not a single pundit in the entire sports scene actually thought that Adam Gase was going to be a good coach for the Jets, you have to ask yourself how long you can ignore that kind of, feedback, even if you wanted to try and just pretend that it was just like, oh yeah, it's for some other reason. You have to ask yourself at what point you're just like, hey, am I really just trying to, convince myself that something that's never going to happen is going to happen, right? Like overturning the United States election results. Like, good luck with that, bro. No, completely unrealistic, right? Founded in tomfoolery and craziness. And that's kind of how I felt about that. I'm like, well, if literally not a single person, if not a single person in the entire sports industry would go to bat for this guy, not a single person would come up to defend him, that should tell you everything you need to know. Now, obviously, if you're a sports fan, you'd be like, well, don't the players defend him? Yeah, the players have to defend him because you're not, sometimes you get a coach that isn't super great, but he's not going to be fired at the end of the season, right? Like, some guys are just mediocre. And then you don't want to put a target on your back to not get as much play time, or, you don't want to get traded, etc. if you've got an opportunity to prove yourself in a good contract and all that jazz. So it makes sense why players wouldn't really want to be talking about it too much. They're supposed to be professional. Fans are always looking to eat them alive if they say something dumb or wrong, etc., etc. So that's kind of been where my head's been at with all of this. Is obviously when so few people are willing to put their faith in you, it really does say a lot. Even if you really do believe at the bottom of your heart that you're trying to do your best and that you're trying to be competent. There's plenty of nice guys that are terrible at their jobs, right? And that's okay. The world does not reward us for being good people. The world rewards us for hustling, right? For the most part. Sometimes you get lucky. Maybe a billionaire will just feel bad for you and throw you $1 million because they saw you be nice on the streets. Who knows? don't think that'll ever happen, but
You need them.
suppose you could dream.
What?
At the end of the day, you got to be able to do your job, though, right? You're getting paid millions and millions of dollars. You got to be able to do your job. Plus, it's not even a raw deal for coaches in like the NFL and stuff, because they actually get their contracts are actually all guaranteed. So if you get fired as a coach in football, all that really means is you get to basically you don't have to work for a few years, well, and you still keep making millions of dollars.
Attention.
So it's really not the worst. And then you could go, you know, scam some other university or professional team into hiring you again, like you did the Dolphins and the Jets, and move on with your life
Another void shard has been destroyed.
while you inhale bath salts on the sidelines.
Precisely as planned. What?
I just got to keep spreading the creep, and then everything will be fine.
Numerous void shards detected. We need to destroy them ASAP.
Looks like the enemy is heading for us. Let's go say hello.
Mutations complete.
Explain. What is it already?
Your allies are still loaded. Let's lend a hand. The enemy's taking fire. Is
All right.
Let's hope the enemy's not.
Your queen. Speak.
This was a pretty easy cleanup.
Cameron pirates are taking advantage of
Taking
the chaos.
advantage of the chaos.
Shoot those traitors out of the sky if you can.
Yeah, I'm not crazy confident in the Jets offense, but I think that's where we're going to have to make all the improvements, right? We're going to have to bring in Justin Fields. I think Justin Fields is probably who the Jets are going to end up with at quarterback. Even if you want to try and convince yourself that Sam Darnold could be the quarterback of the future, it doesn't matter because none of the head coaching prospects that the management's going to be talking to are going to want him. So all of their contracts are going to be conditional, right? All the head coach prospects for the Jets this offseason are going to have the same demands. They're going to say, you must 100% be drafting X player with your second overall pick. I firmly believe that is going to be a big part of the negotiating process over the offseason. So it makes me feel good because knowing some of the old management, you know, they might have decided to stick with it. Not that Darnold can't be good. I just don't think he can be good on the Jets, which many people agree with that take. There's a lot of people who kind of feel that way, that he just needs at the very minimum a new environment, and that a lot of the potential stuff is still there, but he's kind of a reclamation project. That's right. Give me them resources. Give me that biomass, girl. Shake that biomass for me. Shake that biomass for me. Come on, girl. Shake that biomass for me. If your children are listening, it's just about Zerg essence.
Your friends are in a bit of
Now that's what I like to see. Void shard.
At least you guys will never have to hear me attempt to sing real music again. Now that there's such a, now that DMCA has taken over Twitch, I've had to adjust my brain to not sing popular normal songs anymore. So I got you. I got you guys. Also, Dr. Dre, if you're watching and you wanna drop the hottest album of 2021, I just want you to know I'm gonna need at least 8 figures on this deal, but I am willing to negotiate. We could do half up front, half after it goes platinum.
One more group of shards to go.
Just figured you probably want, you know, just trying to leave them offers on the
Get a hell
table.
of a lot more than they bargained for. Take them out.
the enemy's taking
If you throw in a chance to play Madden with like Eminem or some shit, maybe I'll lower my price a little more. That kind of sounds fun. Are Dr. Dre and Eminem still friends? I don't even know.
I need to regenerate my army.
That was rough. I need to regenerate my army. No, we're playing against Protoss. This isn't rough. Ruff's a Terran player.
You simply can't do that.
Getting Zergling upgrades would have been good though. Like if I had upgraded my primary unit that makes up the majority of my army composition, I feel like that could have been one of those things that would help me. I know I'm kind of talking crazy talk here, but old man Jenkins talk. I don't need to put creep tumors down on creep either. So why I keep doing that is another great mystery for Sherlock to hopefully solve one day. Today should be a good day. It's Monday. This should be going live about an hour before I go live on Twitch today. So if you guys are listening to this and you're thinking, Nate, I would love to talk to you about insert random thing that we talked about in this video or I don't know, whatever. You could tell me that you disagree about Gase. Who knows? I'll be live on Twitch playing League of Legends all day. Probably like 1 o'clock, I think. Katie and I are doing a nice outdoor quarantine little lunch thing because there's a lot of places that have been enforcing the restrictions and stuff pretty well in Vegas, because this is probably like one of the biggest hurt cities from all of this stuff. So there's a lot of very well accommodated establishments and whatnot for if you want to do stuff. So we just go sit in our own little spot and have a little lunch so that we can feel like, you know, the world isn't ending, which is always a good feeling. So yeah, I record this. So obviously I wanted to make sure that I got that. I wanted to make sure that I did this today. I don't want you guys to think that this is going to be some weird flaky thing. I was pretty serious about my computer crashing nonstop. That was very real. I should have been building hydras, huh? This is actually really bad. I just realized that. I'm in. Can I build a spire? Can I build corruptors? I don't even know. I don't even know. Doesn't she have DTs? Yeah, the DTs killed everything. That's not good. Not good.
Nothing I hate more than pirates. They got away today, but they won't evade me forever.
They won't evade me forever. Where's Kerrigan? I'm gonna need her. I think I unlock Fury next, right? When I get to level 10 for Kerrigan, so that will help. That basically just makes her attack speed scale with attacking. So we'll put all those points into upgrades on the mutts and then build more overlords because we're about to make 5 more overseers to bring with the army.
Assimilation aura is now ready.
See, I have assimilation aura and I also have the mobilization wave, so we should be good. We got 69 army units, so it's time to go.
You have my attention.
There we go.
Looks like you've nixed another void shard, commanders. I'm impressed.
We're doing well. Keep fighting. Your queen. Speak. I need your queen.
Station is ready. Let's hope the enemy's near.
Explain. Yes.
Easy.
Void shard down.
There's still a giant wave coming that could kill everything we have, so I say we just finish this one up, get her done, knock her down. There we go. Nice.
Coral is in your debt, commanders.
Coral's in your debt.
Saved a lot of lives.
You saved a lot of lives today. But you didn't kill those damn pirates.
Well, you get paid commission on those, huh? Huh? Why are killing the pirates so important to you, bro? Nobody really knows the answer to that question. So, here is the results page. Let's see what we got. We unlocked Fury. Kerrigan's attack speed increases by 10% with each attack, up to a maximum of 50%. That is pretty fantastic. That's just going to make using Kerrigan a lot easier, because you think about how that scales. So now, instead of having her, like, assuming that her attack speed is 1, and now her attack speed is like 1.5, but you also have the Malignant Creep, which is just huge, right? Because that's what the prestige that we're doing is. It's 100% effectiveness increased. So, Kerrigan should be attacking real fast now. Next mission that we play with her. And we'll find out what that looks like next time on Coffee and Co-op. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I hope you have a fantastic week. Enjoy your Monday. And if you want to hang around and watch me spread Ligma with Malzahar down mid lane for a few hours, you can come say hi on Twitch/Nathanias around some point between 12:30 and 1 p.m. Pacific time. That's around 4 o'clock Eastern time, as that's when I'll be streaming. So see you guys then. God bless, stay safe, and have a great time.